Welcome to the webinar sales series organized by Festo Middle East and Northeast Africa. This is Nizar speaking from Festo office in Amman. As most of you already know that jointly with Festo team in Dubai, we do provide sales, technical and logistical support to our customer in the MENA region. Today, I will present to you our process automation for chemical industries. Before we start, I would like to ask you to adjust your device audio. If any question, please feel free to drop your question in the question box as shown on the screen. We will answer them directly through the question box or during the session. Otherwise, we will get back to you after the webinar ends. Poll questions will be posted during the session. They will be popped up on your screen. Please feel free to answer those questions. After the seminar, you will receive a 6-question survey. Please take 5 minutes to answer those questions. It will help us having your feedback and for future seminars. Let's start with the first poll question. Please select most suitable answer for you by clicking on the right answer. In what type of industry segment are you mainly active? In fine chemicals, oil and gas, petrochemical, mineral processing, power and energy, or other type of industry? Please select your answer by clicking on the answer itself. Now we are collecting answers. Thank you for your answers. For today's session, we would like to allocate some focus segments mainly related to chemical industries, fine chemical, oil and gas, and petrochemical industries. That doesn't mean that these are the only focused industry. Also, we have pulp and paper, water, wastewater, power and energy, also food and packaging. But for today's session, we will be highlighting products which are mainly applicable for chemical, fine chemical, oil and gas, and petrochemical industries. Festo process automation products offer all individual level of the automation pyramid, from the operating level up to the field level. Customers worldwide will receive their components from a single source, as we mentioned, as a one-stop shop. For example, in the field level, we can offer our process valves, actuators, sensor boxes, Namur valves. Also on the control level, we can contribute with our remote IOs, valve terminals, and control cabinets. In the DCS and SCADA system, we can contribute with our controllers, touch panels, and integrated touch panels with controllers. Earlier, my colleague presented in the previous seminar the control cabinet solution for hazardous environments. For today's session, I will focus more on the field level components for process automation. For our agenda today, in our web seminar, we will be discussing further our quarter turn actuator for chemical industries, solenoid valves with high safety level and reliability, stainless steel filter regulators, and Festo range of limit switch boxes. In the field of rotary actuation, we have various types of actuators which are designed and developed based on each specific application. For example, we have mainly 3 types of rotary actuators. We have the DFBD, the standard type, best value for price. We have our DAPS actuator for large torques with Scotch yoke design. It can handle up to 8,000 Newton meter torque. And we also have our DFBD, the chemical version, which is mainly for chemical industries. In this session, I will be discuss further our DFBD, the chemical version. The DFBD for chemical industries is suitable for actuating butterfly valves, plug valves, and ball valves in the process plant in the chemical and petrochemical industries, and can also be used with a positioner for a control application. As you can see here on the screen, let's start with some of the features of the DFBD actuator, the chemical version. As you can see, it can handle up to 2,300 Newton meter torque, which can cover 95% of the applications. The springs for single acting actuators are made from non-ferrous metals, which leads to additional safety against breakage. We have also this nice feature, which is the blowout proof end position adjustment screws. This design allows us to safely adjust the end positions without shutting down our system. The assembled shaft centering ring, it's minimizing the offset between the actuator and the process valve itself. Also here to highlight, in case of any leakage in the process valve, then we will be having a pressure buildup in the area between the actuator and the process valve. Therefore, we have this pressure relief grooves. If you can see on the bottom left, those pressure relief grooves avoids the pressure buildup in case of any leakage in the process valves. Since we are talking about the chemical environment, it's a very harsh environment, and if any scratch will damage our coating, which will lead to a corrosion in this actuator. So we have the end caps with hard anodized to prevent any scratches on the end caps. Going further in the DFBD actuator, we have some also more accessories which can be added to the DFBD actuator, the chemical version. For example, here we have the VDE2 variants, which give us more features and makes us more flexible and able to cover more needs. The VDE2 interface allows us directly to assemble our positioner and pilot valve and avoid any failure with cost saving, since no piping required in this installation. Also here to highlight, when it comes to the safety integrity, our DFBD chemical version actuator is suitable up to safety integrity 3 low demand. By having this interface, we can control our pilot valve orientation 0 to 90 degree. Also, we can have a pneumatic connection from both sides, which is very convenient during the electrical and pneumatic installation. Last but not least, here the hot swap function. In many applications, it's very important to keep the process running. With the hot swap function, now it's possible to replace the positioner or the pilot valve without shutting down the system. It's very important to use, or very useful to use this specific function, which is the hot swap. By activating the hot swap, we can easily replace our pilot valve or positioner. Also, to highlight here, this interface allows us to have a redundant solution by using two pilot valves in the same block, which increase our safety level. Let's see if we have any question on DFBD-C. Please feel free, if you have any question, to drop them on the question box. I have one question here. What will happen to the Namur interface on the DFBD actuator if we are using the VDE2 interface? Actually, by using the VDE2 interface, if you are using or ordering the VDE2 interface, you will receive in the delivery planking plugs to be used to block the Namur interface ports. Then you are able to use the VDE2 interface directly. Going back to our presentation here, when we talk about the solenoid valves for high safety level and reliability. What comes to our mind is the VOFC and VOFD, which are the pilot operated and direct operated solenoid valves. Some of the features, benefits of the solenoid valves, which are the VOFD, VOFC, by having the direct operated and indirect operated 3x2 and 5x2 valves, we are able to cover all application with reduction in power consumption, which means now we are able to use those valves, the VOFD and VOFC, controlled by field bus signals because of the low consumption in power. Also, we have them with different explosion protection, which match different ATIX zones. One of the nice features that the same one part number can be used as a G or MPT thread connection or the more port pattern. This will reduce the number of variants and will optimize our inventory. By talking about the optimization in the inventory, and the variants. Also, there is one cool feature as well, is that the same valve can be used as internal or external pilot with the EXD enclosure. Here also the combination of those, let's say, variants, the 5x2 and 3x2 availability of those valves and the voltages, which can cover 24 up to 230 volt AC and DC. Also, for the VOFD, VOFC are suitable to be used in safety-related system up to and including the safety integrity level 3. To be able, it's also will help us to able to calculate and assure the system reliability. Those valves have been time tested in actual use in plants actually, and they proven their safety and reliability. Also, when it comes to the safety and reliability, if you are interested to know more about this application, if you visit our website, festo.ae.com, and all you have to type on 15 years without failure, you will find a white paper explaining this, let's say, application and how the test was done. As a standard feature, those valves are being hard metal titanium oxide layer coated, which provide high protection against corrosion and mechanical stresses. Some of the accessories are important to highlight here when it comes to the pilot valve or solenoid valves. I'm here about to highlight the flow control plate, which have directly connection between, let's say, the actuator and the solenoid valve with no additional piping required. Also, the VABS subbase allows us to have a redundant circuit without any need for additional piping by using two redundant valves on the same block. So we are increasing the safety level in this case. In the chemical plants, the environment is corrosive, and to protect our system from the environment, we have this also let's say nice or good accessory, which is the exhaust protection. It do have embedded non-retain valve function, which with this exhaust protection, which allows the air to pass in one direction only. So in this case, we are protecting our system from the environment. Let's see if we have any question here when it comes to the solenoid valves or high safety level and reliability solenoid valves. We have a question here about the voltages actually. What about the 48 volt DC AC? Is it available in the voltage range? Yes, it's available. As mentioned earlier, our voltage range can cover from 24 up to 230 volt AC and DC. So we have a wide voltage range to cover. This leads us to our second poll question. Please answer most suitable answer for you. Which of the following levels is higher in safety? We are talking about safety integrity level. So is it safety integrity level 4 or 2 or 1 or 3? We are about to collect your answers. Please just click on the right answer. So it will be directly linked to our webinar. Now we will share the answers of the poll answers. Most of you, let's say 44% answered safety integrity level 1. To be honest with you, this is not the right answer. Actually, the right answer is the safety integrity level 4. So when it comes higher with the numbers, it's more safe or a safety integrity level. Thank you for sharing your answers with us. Let's keep going with our presentation. Okay. Now we completed our, let's say, the DFPD chemical virgin and solenoid valves, the VOFD and VOFC. Coming to the air preparation range, preparing the air before using in the system, it's the first step to be taken in our consideration. Therefore, as a Festo, we do offer various types of air preparation units and components as well. From our range, we have the D series. It's the classic product. Most of you already know this D series. Also, we have the MS series, our star product, best value for price. Also, since we are talking about the chemical plants and harsh environments, we will be introducing the PCRP, the stainless steel virgin filter regulator for harsh environments. Let's go for the features of the PCRP. Let's start with the housing and internal metal parts are fully stainless steel. This to be protected against highly corrosive environment and to have longer service life. The material of the PCRP can be used in H2S containing environment in oil and gas production, NACE MR0175. This NACE MR0175, it's mainly the materials are approved to be used in the petroleum and natural gas industries. From the internal design, it do have a rolling diaphragm, which ensures high flow rate with less pressure drop and more regulation reliability. This is important point actually. We are not focusing only on the high flow rates. Also, we are focusing more in less to have lower pressure drop and more regulation reliability. This is very important point as well. Also, when it comes to the flow rate, it can cover from 1,700 up to 4,150 liter per minute. Also, we have here a patent lip seal used in the PCRP filter regulator. Same lip seal is used also with the MS series. It allows us to have a fast venting, to have a stable pressure in the system. Whenever we are regulating the pressure, if we have fast venting, then we are able to have a stable pressure in the system. Also, the capture vent or venting port is G1/8, allows us to connect this venting port to a fitting for a safe venting, let's say, out of the system. Also, we have barbed fit connection to the drain, which allows us to connect it to a tubing for a safe draining outside of the system. This filter regulator can withstand up to minus 60 degree temperature below the zero. So it's with a reliable regulation. This is very important. Not only can handle up to minus 60 degree with also reliable regulation. Also, the explosion-proof protection allows us to use this stainless steel filter regulator in hazardous zone 1, 2, 21, and 22. Please, if you have any question on the PCRP, please feel free to ask any question. We have actually a question here. What are the thread size available for the PCRP? Good question, actually. We have two sizes actually for the PCRP. We have the 1x4 inch and we have the half inch, both in G thread and NPT thread. Going further in our presentation to cover our Festo range of limit switch boxes. Actually, the main use of the limit switch boxes is to know the status of the process valve, if it's open or closed, and make sure that our system is functioning 100%. To know if it's open or closed visually, or to have a feedback signal from the limit switch box to our system to understand the position of the process valve. Then based on, let's say, the ATEX zone, for example, based on the function and the space, we can select the right limit switch for our application. So today we will be introducing to you some of our limit switches, our Festo limit switches, mainly which is we will introduce three type of limit switches: the SRBC, the general purpose limit switch, the SRBE, the explosion proof limit switch, and also the SRBG, the compact design limit switch. As an overview of our, let's say, first type, the SRBC limit switch box, we have it with an optical indicator, open and close. We have captive stainless steel bolts. We have two cable entries. We can select, if required, the M20 or the NPT half-inch cable entries. We have the stainless steel short Namur shaft. Also, by ordering the SRBC, you will have pre-assembled stainless steel mounting bracket available with the, let's say, the delivery. We have it with the stainless steel screws as well. Also, the housing will be epoxy coated aluminum housing. Furthermore, going into the features of the SRBC, let's start with the ATEX. It's suitable to be used in hazardous location due to the ATEX approval, the IE version. This, let's say, enclosure is weatherproof, suitable for use in outdoor applications. This is a very cool feature and important feature, actually. The intrinsically safe 8.2 volt DC Namur variant is available for this SRBC limit switch box. We can use it in potentially explosive areas. Also, it's suitable to be used in North America since it's CCS AUS listed. Here to highlight also one important feature that the SRBC have dual cable entries and printed circuit boards for direct connection of the limit switch box and the solenoid valve, which saves material and time. Normally, for the limit switch box, we need to have one cable, and for the solenoid valve, we need to have another cable. In this case, we can use one cable because we do have two, let's say, cable entries in the SRBC or in the limit switch box. Here to highlight very important point, actually. whenever we are selecting, for example, intrinsically safe option or variant on the SRBC, make sure to select the correct cable gland, which do match the same specific variant in the SRBC or limit switch box. This limit switch box also considered as a low-cost general purpose limit switch box, which makes it price competitive. Here also we have a variety of switching types for this limit switch box. We have it with the magnetic, inductive, or mechanical switches. Going further to the second type of limit switch boxes, actually limit switch boxes, actually we have the open close indicator. It's similar to the SRBC limit switch box, but with only, let's say, main difference is the thickness and the shape of the housing. And the SRBE do have a thicker housing material and round shape, which makes it EXD enclosure flammable proof. Okay, let's go. We can let's say have more information about the or understand more features about the SRBE, the explosion-proof limit switch box. We can use the same limit switch box worldwide due to the global approvals that already we have it with the SRBE. As mentioned earlier, also because of the thickness and the type of the housing material, it's EXD enclosure with which leads us to have easier installation due to the fact that the intrinsically safe circuits not required. So it can be used with 230 volt degree, 230 volt AC signal. So it will be no need to have it intrinsically safe circuit. Also, we have it with dual cable entries as also printed circuit board for direct connection for the limit switch box and the solenoid valve, which saves material and time for us. Also here to highlight, make sure this is very important point, not everybody taking this point in consideration, to select the right or the correct cable gland when selecting the variants of the limit switch box. Also, we have flexibility as well. Flexibility, the switching type of the switching types, we have it as a magnetic, inductive, and mechanical switches. We have here a question. Can you explain the, let's say, the function, how it works, the SRBC, how it works? Actually, yes, the limit switch box includes two electrical switches inside it, which can be turned on or off depending on the valve opening fully or closing. The position indication is transferred through the shaft of the process valve and actuator to the limit switch. These electrical switches will send an electrical signal indicating the opening and closing. So mainly, let's say the shaft of the process valve is moving, or the actuator, the shaft of the actuator is moving for opening and closing. Then you have electrical switches or mechanical switches, which also rotate with the shaft of the actuator. Then electrical signal will be sent to the system to understand whether if the process valve is open or closed. Hopefully I answered the question. Going further to our, let's say, third type of limit switch boxes. Actually, this is the SRBG, the compact design from our limit switch boxes. This is an overview. It do have an optical open and close indicator. Two connection types. We have it as a M12 connector or terminal compartment. It's made out of technopolymer housing. And also The type of mounting, it's directly to be mounted on the actuator itself, VDI-VDE 3845 directly mounting. So no need to use any mounting brackets while I'm using the SRBG limit switch box. In some cases, we are having hard time with space. Therefore, the SRBG is easier to install with space saving thanks to the direct mounting via Namur interface. So also it do have an advanced communication feature, which is the ASI version. This is an industrial network solution used in the PLC as an advanced communication. So this one is available with the SRBG for easier installation. Also dual cable entries in additional terminal for the solenoid valve, which saves time and material. Low cost, this SRBG considered as low cost explosion proof version by selecting the intrinsically safe version of this limit switch box. By covering our agenda, we have one more poll question to have. Please also answer this question. It will help us as well for future sessions. Which product is most interesting for you from our agenda today? Is it the quarter turn actuator for chemical industries, the solenoid valves with high safety level and reliability, stainless steel filter regulators, or our range of limit switch boxes? Here to highlight also, you can select multiple answer. You can select 2 or 3 answers. So please select which is what is most suitable for you as an answer. Now we are collecting answers. Now we will share the answers. As we can see, let's say 63% are interested more on the solenoid valve with high safety level and reliability. This is very interesting as well. And let's say the other answers are divided into the quarter turn actuator, the stainless steel filter regulator, and Festo range of limit switch. Now going back to our, let's say, presentation. Let me summarize what we covered today. In the summary, we would like just to show you what we did cover in the presentation. We covered our quarter turn actuator and what are the features of this quarter turn actuator and VDE2 mechanical interface. Also, we covered our Namur solenoid valves, the VOFD and VOFC, and what are the safety integrity levels that we have. Also, we covered our the PCRP, the stainless steel version of our filter regulator for harsh environments. Finally, we covered the limit switch boxes, the SRBE, SRBC, and SRBG, and when to select the right limit switch box for our application. Also, as Festo, we offer on our website more information about for example, the ATIX zones and their explanation. If you are interested to know more about the ATIX zones and their explanation, all you have to write to visit on our website and just type on the search the ATIX poster. You will find this poster on the top left, which is explaining the ATIX zones and their explanation. Also, we have very interesting white papers for the safety in process industries. What are the safety integrity levels required and certificates required in certain industries. Also, for the VOFD, VOFC, we mentioned that they are time-tested solenoid valves. Please check our white paper for the 15 years without failure. Also here, I would like to highlight our online configurator. I do recommend everybody to try our online configurator to select or to configure their PA unit through this configurator. It's very easy to use. You can select your process valve, actuator, sensor box, or limit switch box, and your Namur valve positioner. It's very easy tool to select your process valve or unit or PA unit, process automation unit. Uh, let's see if we have any other questions. We have one more question. Actually, this question needs to be replied later on because it needs a lot of explanation, and the time doesn't serve us to answer this question. But we will get back to you as soon as possible for this question. I would like to thank you for joining or attending our session. Please make sure to fill the survey which will appear on your screen after ending the webinar. Also visit and join us through the following channels. As mentioned earlier, our website is www.festo.ae, where you can find all the white papers, let's say the posters, and all information required for documentation data sheets for let's say anything regarding anything for Festo products in general. Also Get Into the Flow website, our Get Into the Flow website, and follow us through our LinkedIn page, and visit our Festo YouTube channel. If you have any question, inquiry, any kind of requirement, please contact us through info_mina@festo.com. Thank you for joining us. Looking forward to meet you again on next sessions. Thank you. Bye bye.